My name is Patricia Grady, and I'd like to thank you all first for coming tonight and spending a little time with me. 1 year ago, if I was standing before you, and this was back in time a year ago, I was 54 pounds heavier. And I made a goal last year to lose 50 pounds. So I've dropped 50 pounds. When I first started working out at the gym, I didn't like it very much. It wasn't this gym. This gym wasn't even open yet. I didn't even know that these people existed. I felt very conspicuous in my workout clothes. I hated it, absolutely hated it. I hated how my clothes felt on me. I hated how when I would do certain exercises, my stomach felt like it punched out too far. I hated when I stopped moving, my body didn't stop moving. So I hired a personal trainer. And in 4 months, from April till August, I lost 11 pounds. And I was pretty happy with that. I mean, it wasn't 50 pounds, but I've been working pretty hard. I always showed up. I always did the work. I was a hard worker at the gym. And I lost 11 pounds. And you know what? I started to think that that was pretty good because I've been working a long time to do it. People said that they noticed. They said that I looked pretty good. And I started thinking right about that time, well, you know, maybe I could stop losing weight because, well, I lost 11 pounds and it was hard for me to lose weight after all, you know. I have a medical condition. I have a hypoactive thyroid. I have Hashimoto's thyroiditis. Does anybody know what that is? Maybe you do. So it's really hard for me to lose weight. So maybe 11 pounds is all the weight I could lose. And I should be happy with that. And then I was talking to somebody. And a really smart person said to me, yeah, but Patricia, your goal is to lose 50 pounds. And good for you for losing 11 pounds. That's super. But you didn't reach your goal. So what are we going to do to get you to your goal? And in that moment, I realized, well, yeah, I didn't reach my goal. Why would I want to stop now? And I know that sounds really stupid, like I should have known that 11 is not 50, right? But it took somebody else pointing that out to me and actually holding me accountable for saying, well, my plan was to lose 50 pounds, but I only lost 11, and I'm okay with that. He thought that was the most ridiculous thing that he'd ever heard. Like saying, I want to go to Paris, France, but I'll go to Paris, Indiana. It sounds like a great plan. So I joined, and in 4 weeks I lost 11 pounds. In 4 weeks. I've been trying to think about why I lost 11 pounds in 4 weeks and 11 pounds in 4 months by myself, a personal trainer. You know what I think it is? It's a couple of things. One, with personal trainer, I kind of was allowed to keep doing my own thing when I wasn't at the gym. There was no real accountability except for me showing up and doing my exercises, which I did. And I felt like I was doing everything I was supposed to do, but you know, I just lost weight slower than other people. So, boot camp, I did 1,000 push-ups, Alison Crenshaw.
Already did that today.
She's an advanced boot camp. It was phenomenal. And her very handsome husband. Where was I? 11 pounds in 4 weeks. The reason it happens is because I all of a sudden was in this environment of people. There were 22 of us, 18 of us, 22 of us in the very, before the gym opened. How many?
14.
14. It seemed like so many more. Working out outside the gym in the cold on the cement every morning or every Tuesday and Thursday morning at 5:30 a.m. trying to be so loud that maybe the police would come. Because, you know, what else is there to do at 5:30 in the morning when you're working out? You want to make some noise. We didn't know each other, but there was an expectation the minute we all showed up that we would be successful. It was expected. I mean, that was why we were there. You don't get up at 5 in the morning or 4:30 in the morning to be somewhere at 5:30 in the morning to not bring it. Are you kidding me? I mean, you might as well just stay in bed if you're not going to come and be successful. So before we even knew each other, before we even knew what the goals were, what we knew was we had a common goal, which was to lose some weight. Didn't matter what the numbers were. Didn't matter that it was different for every single person. We were there to lose some weight. So we had a goal of wanting to be successful. And this really amazing thing happens. When you surround yourself with successful people, you can't help but be successful. It's impossible. It's not possible to fail around successful people. Just like it's possible to be successful around people who aren't, but it's really, really, really hard. Really hard. You gotta spend all of your time climbing out of a bucket of crabs. So, you surround yourself with successful people and you become successful. My husband spent a lot of time fighting the environment that I had been in, of people saying, but Patricia, you lost, before I lost the rest of my weight, but you lost 11 pounds, give yourself a break. You work so hard. You work so hard, have a drink. Why are you worried about it? The only one person in my environment who actually expected me to accomplish my goal was my husband, who's in the back of the room today, in the handsome red shirt and new haircut. He was fighting the rest of my environment, who said, oh, don't worry about it. It's okay to fail. Come on, come lick your wounds with us. And then I joined this new environment that said, you are not allowed to fail. You're going to achieve your dreams and goals no matter what. And all of a sudden, I started to achieve my goals. Oh my gosh. I lost 50 pounds last year. That's like a third grader. I don't know if any of you have heard my radio ads, but I've made the claim that I've lost a third grader and I'm better looking than a high school cheerleader. Now, my assumption about why you're all here today is that you're here for a few things. You might be here to find out if I was better looking than a high school cheerleader. I just want to put this on the table right now. If you don't agree that I am, please do not join my boot camp. Join pictures. Okay. He's never claimed to be better looking than a high school cheerleader, so you won't have to go there with him. If you want to join my boot camp, you will tell me that I am. I also think that you're here because you're hoping for some sort of change. What you're doing isn't working. You're here because you want to change your life. You want something great to happen. Maybe you don't know what it is yet. But I know that most people just need one good thing for everything else to start falling into place. For a job, for a relationship, for, I don't know, winning $1 million. Why not? Dream big. But you're hoping for something different because you're stuck in a place you don't want to be, and for some reason, you're here today saying, show me what you got. I'm going to show you what I got. I also think that you might be here because you failed in the past. And maybe you met somebody who's been through this process. Or maybe you just watched one of our videos that are just, come on. If you're having a bad day, you need to just save that on your desktop. Seriously. If you're having a bad day, just press play. And when we're doing this, you can't help but smile. I mean, come on. It's a good time. So maybe you failed in the past, and you know somebody who's been through this and who's been successful, and you think, maybe that can work for me. I want to tell you that it will work for you, because that's the secret. That's the great thing. If I can be successful, you can be successful. Does that make sense to you? If I can be successful, you can be successful. That's the trick. I used to think that people watched me to see if I was going to screw this up, because then they'd have a reason to say, come on, Patricia. And then they wouldn't have to do anything either. You know, we could all just be lazy together and drink margaritas on the dock. It's all great. I learned they really wanted me to be successful. Because if I could be successful, they could be successful. There was no more reasons why they couldn't do it, because they could say, well, my good friend Patricia, she did this. She lost 50 pounds. She said she was going to do it. She found people to help her do it, and she did it. And then I got the opportunity to teach boot camp. And so here I am, and I get to help all you do it. Whatever your goal is, I get to be here and be a part of helping you make that happen. I grabbed onto that with both hands because that's exciting to me. You might be here because you're sitting next to somebody who forced you to come, and they told you that we were going to be serving free beer, margaritas, chicken wings, pizza, donuts, whatever. They lied to you. Okay? We won't be having any of those things. It'll just be me. And they lie to you, though, from a very good cause. They care about you, and they wanted to give you the opportunity to do something just a little bit different and special with your life. So don't be mad at them, okay, for too long. You shouldn't probably wave a hot dog under somebody's nose and then take it away. But I think that also at some level, you also realize that you kind of suck at doing what you need to do to get what you want to get. Am I right? Like, you know that. I'm here to tell you that as adults, you can stop fighting to do the things you know aren't good for you. You're a grown-up. If you want to eat ice cream 3 times a day followed by a beer chaser, you can do that, and we all know it. Let's get over it. Okay? You can stop fighting for your rights. It's like Convergence Boot Camp. It's awesome. You can say, I'm a grown-up, I'm going to do good things. How about that? The good news is that it's not entirely your fault that you suck at doing what you should do to get what you want. As mammals, as organisms, as people, we are hardwired to be comfortable and to make things easier. Who here hasn't heard the phrase, work smarter, not harder? That's not so bad. You know, you could use a wheel, or you could use an octagon, which is going to propel your car better. No, wrong wheel. Use the wheel, not the octagon, right? Work smarter, not harder. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. But we, as Americans, have gotten very comfortable. Things are very convenient. We live in a culture where most of the world doesn't have enough food to feed itself. We throw away more food in one day than these people will see in a whole year. And yet, almost 70% of our population is overweight or obese. That's how comfortable we've gotten. We live in a culture where our children are being diagnosed with diseases called adult onset diabetes, which meant that people got this as an adult, usually in their mid to late 50s and beyond, a completely preventable disease. Children as young as 6 are being diagnosed with adult onset diabetes. Our pets are fat. Are you kidding? I go to my vet and they've got diet cat food and diet dog food. There are books on how to put your dog on a diet. That's, other cultures, they don't understand us. They don't get it. I mean, it's a little bit insane. We have gotten so overwhelmed with choice, so overwhelmed with convenience, and we barely have to move to get any of it. You can sit on your couch, call up for food. The most you have to do to move to get the food is to answer the door, give them a check and a tip, and sit down back on your couch and eat it, watching The Biggest Loser, saying, where do they get these people? Or maybe you have to get up, you guys can join my class. Or maybe you have to get up and go to the bathroom every now and then. Unless you're really filthy and disgusting, you don't even get to do that. You have like a U-Bahn can next to you. Anyway, problem is your environment doesn't expect a whole lot from you. Let's go back a few thousand years to caveman days. Okay? In an effort to be comfortable and convenient, to be fed and to stay warm, you had to do a few more things in your day. Okay? If you wanted to have food, you had to do things like organize a great white hunting party, or hairy hunting party, because we were hairier back then. A great hairy hunting party. And it was at great personal risk, because you could die while hunting the woolly mammoth. Like, it could kill you. Or, while on that hunting party, you could become a meal to a hungrier, angrier beast. You put yourself at great personal risk just to get food. And let me tell you, you better know the difference between an okay gooseberry and a not so okay gooseberry. Because if you don't, it's, it's all over for you. There's no urgent care. You're going to die. you better keep your fire lit because relighting it, real pain in the neck back in the caveman days. Like, you know, they had to wait for lightning storms and stuff. Or sit there for 12 hours hoping the wood would dry. So even lighting the fire expended a lot more calories. You had to work for what you had. You had to work to survive. If you wanted clothes to wear, pelts for your bed, you tanned the hides, you skinned the beast, you used all the parts. You woke up ready to work, you went to bed dog tired, and you got up and you did it again the next day, and you know what being comfortable and convenient meant? You lived to see another day. Let's fast forward to now. Now, we talked about the food being delivered, how easy it is, how we don't have to do a whole lot. We can sit on our couches. We don't even have to leave to make a living. I mean, if you're a stockbroker, you can actually sit at your house. Well, not if you were in New York and had to be in the pit, I suppose. But you could sit at your house and you could trade and make millions of dollars. I guess people did that. You could stay in your pajamas all day long. You could never leave your house, ever. You could hire somebody to walk your dog, because you care more about your dog not being fat than you. You could hire somebody to walk your dog. You could hire somebody to water your plants, get the housekeeper in to clean your house, get somebody to deliver your meals. You could sit in one spot all the time and you could be comfortable and convenient. You could turn up the furnace when you got a little cold, because heaven forbid you get chilly and shiver. You could turn on the air when you get a little hot because you don't want to sweat any of that off. The point is we've made it very, very easy to not expend any energy. Well, I'm here to help you with that. That's why you're here, right? Okay. Now, there are some excuses people like to make as to why they can't commit to health and fitness. And my very personal favorite, the one that I've just come to love a lot, is, are you ready?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to dedicate my life to fitness. Or, I don't want to be married to the gym. Okay. Fair enough. I'm just asking for 2 hours a week. Now, if you don't want to dedicate your life to fitness, I want to ask you this. What are you dedicating your life to? Okay? Maybe. Are you dedicating your life to heart disease, diabetes, cancer? Because I want to give you a little fun fact, okay? If you don't dedicate your life to your personal health and fitness, you will get to enjoy the great benefits of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. 1, 2, all 3, I don't know, but you will. If you don't take your health and fitness under your own control and dedicate your life to being healthy, then you will get one of those things probably. Now, I want to know why dedicating your life to your own personal health and fitness is so negative. Why that comes across as a negative. That's what I don't understand, is why is that a negative? Because, see, I still have friends saying things to me like, Patricia, are you going to continue to be so extreme about alcohol? Are you never going to drink again? Let me tell you something. I couldn't care less if you drink, okay? Matter of fact, through this whole process in which I gave up alcohol and I really like it, okay? Matter of fact, when that really smart person who pointed out to me that I hadn't achieved my goal said, what are you willing to do? And I said, I'm willing to do anything. He said, okay, no alcohol. I went, oh, forever? And he said, let's get to your goal and we'll talk about it then. Guess what? I got to my goal and I'm here to tell you, I don't care if I have another drop of alcohol again in my whole life. Couldn't care less. It's not that important to me. It stopped making sense to do things that got in the way of achieving what I wanted to achieve for my life. Now, in that process, I discovered something. I like beer. I don't like red wine, white wine. I like whiskey too, but that's just my heritage, I think. I really, really like beer. Good beer, Boddington's to be exact. Like it a lot. I don't drink it very often. The last one I had was like 6 months ago. Are you kidding me? But could care less if you drink. I want to know why it's such a big deal for people that I don't. Because here's what I think is extreme. I think it's extreme to stick a substance in your body that is so toxic to your body that your body stops metabolizing anything else until the alcohol's gone, and it is not the sugar. Don't tell me I can have vodka. It's the alcohol, okay? Alcohol. The stuff that makes you stupid. Wreaks havoc in your body. You could decrease fat loss in your body for up to 4 years. Way to blow the workouts you did during the week at the gym for a bender on a Friday and Saturday night. Woohoo, good job. 4 days, depending on how much you drink. So it just stopped being important to me. I stopped caring about it. Okay? So I don't look at dedicating my life to being as healthy and fit as I can be as a bad thing. Matter of fact, I think it's a great thing. I'm only asking for 2 hours of your life every week. That's it. Oh, my second favorite excuse. I will not deprive my children of their childhood. We ask you to do something in boot camp, in beginning boot camp. We ask you to give up sugar. Sugar. Sugar is more addictive than crack cocaine. So we're going to ask you to give up the crack in your house. I'd like to ask you, when in our lifetime did childhood equal addiction to crack? Doesn't have to. Does it? It's okay. What are you depriving your children of? Are you depriving your children of the opportunity to sit in a chair in front of me in 20 years with the same struggles, self-image issues, desire to just finally get this weight up once and for all that you're going through right now? Is that what you want to deprive your children of, or don't want to deprive your children of? For heaven's sakes, what's wrong with teaching them now, when they're small, that it's great to lead a healthy life and eat good things? And just stay away from the crack. Just say no to the crack. Just say no. Come on. Now, any of you see my newsletter? Well, clearly it is not out enough places in Pandora. Because from now on, you will be seeing my newsletter. I say in my newsletter that I know what you want. I'm going to tell you what you want. And I'm going to read them off of here because I want to make sure I get them right. I want it to be clear. I did not make these up. People have told me this, okay? Which means, since I know that we are fundamentally the same as human beings with what we want freedom from the things that keep us down from being the best that we can be, I know that at least one of you wants at least one of the things on this list too. You want to keep the light on during those special romantic bonding moments with your spouse or significant other. You want everything in your closet to fit. You want to try on clothes when you go shopping with your friends and not feel like the fat girl sitting on the bench. You want to get through summer without a rash on your legs from your thighs rubbing together. I didn't make these up. You want to look in the mirror and like who you see because you did something that was honest and good for yourself. You want to be proud of who you are. You are tired of being only 5 feet, 10 inches tall and having everyone call you big guy, and you know they're not talking about your height. You don't want people to rub your belly anymore and make a Buddha wish. You want respect, self-respect, and respect from other people. You want to feel strong. You want to be alive to see your children embrace and enjoy their own adulthood. I'm sure that you all have other things that you want. I know how you can get it. So, have any of you seen the latest new revolutionary information about the diet and health industry? Anybody? Have you seen it? Ever seen it? Guess what? If you eat less and expend more energy, you're going to lose weight. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars that could have been used to vaccinate children from polio in Africa was spent to figure out basic math? If you eat less and move more, you lose weight. Oh my gosh. Yay. We can do that. Here's what we're going to do though. I'm going to ask you to do something that's going to require sacrifice, commitment, hard work, sweat, maybe some tears. I bled once. You're not going to get your reward for several weeks, maybe months from now. You're not going to get what you think you want for a real long time. But I'm going to ask you to work real hard right now. And that's tough in our society because everything's fast. How many of you today sat at your computer when the internet wasn't moving fast enough and went, come on? How many of you? Because I did it like 5 times. We want everything like that. Well, guess what? Good things don't happen like that. The best things that we do for ourselves take time. So I'm going to ask you to do things that aren't always comfortable. I'm going to ask you to do things that are inconvenient. I'm going to ask you to get up at probably between 4 and 4:45 once a week and commit an hour of your time on Saturday to me if you join my class. And that's inconvenient. What's it worth to you if I can guarantee it 100% that if you do what I tell you to do, you will achieve what you've always wanted to achieve? What's that worth to you? Is it worth a couple of hours? I can guarantee it. If you surrender to this process, you will be successful. It works for every person, every time, without fail. If you go through this process and it doesn't work for you, you did not surrender to the process. I'll just tell you that right now. I know that you didn't surrender to the process because if you did, you would be achieving the results you want to achieve. I can guarantee you with 100% guarantee that you will have to buy new clothes. Not because they're too small, but because you've been giving away all your big clothes because you're the incredible shrinking person and you need to go buy new ones because pretty soon you're just going to be running around naked in the streets. I guarantee you that people will stop. It's my favorite song in the world. I'm sorry, I was like all distracted. All right, I guarantee that people will stop you and ask you where you get your energy from. They'll want to bottle it. They'll be like, what in the world are you on? You'll be like, I'm on boot camp. Your friends will notice the sparkle in your eyes and ask you what you're doing differently, and that's how they're going to say it. They're going to say, there's something different in your eyes. They can't put the finger on it, but there's something different, and they want to know what it is. I guarantee you, you will never again hang your head in shame. I guarantee you that you will experience the limitless joy of inspiring someone else to change their lives. And I guarantee you that you will succeed beyond your wildest imagining. I guarantee it. Surrender to the process, and you will get what you want to get. Camp. We are teaching people to fish. You have all heard that parable. Give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. Teach a man a fish, he'll eat for the rest of his life. We are teaching people to fish. And it's about really, really knowing what path you want to travel. Because every choice, every decision that you've made up to this moment brought you here in front of me, asking for something different. So I ask you, what are you going to do differently? Are you going to continue to do what you've always done and continue to get what you've always gotten? Or are you going to take a little bit of a risk and do something just a little bit differently and understand you actually have control of where you want to go and where you want to be and how you want to get there? Recruits give full permission for us to do boot camp in their front yard if they quit. Now, when you sign that, if you quit and we come and do boot camp in your front yard, and you call the police, I'm having a form, who said we could do it. Blame them. They are quitters. You are expected to show up for every class. Now, I understand sometimes things come up. Don't panic. You need to talk to me beforehand and you can make up a class. Okay? But it's not every class. You are expected... You're expected expected to make this commitment. You're expected to show up for every class. You're expected to show up on time. You're expected to do the work. There is work involved. You're expected to not give up on yourself and to want this at the very least as much as I want it for you. Because you can trust me, I want it for you really, really bad. You have to want it at least that much. You can't sit in front of me and tell me how long you've been waiting to get what you want to get and then quit on me 2 weeks later when it gets hard. I won't let you do it.
No, all I want to say is I just watched her go from someone that, nice person before, to go to an absolutely dynamic, unstoppable person. And I honestly believe that every single person has that person inside them. They have that person that's unstoppable, and they want to be that person. But everything she talked about, that's what's keeping us from it. The reason I put this together, the reason I created this was to truly help people. And I found out the way to help them was two things. The best thing that could ever happen to someone is, number one, you surround them by people that care about them, and because they care about you, they ask the best of you at all times. Which means when you want to do stuff that's detrimental to your health and bringing that phenomenal person out, you have 30 other people going, no, that's not okay. Because when that happens to you, that affects them. So you're accountable to 30 other people. When you start letting yourself down, you're letting them down. And usually people will do 10 times more for someone else than they'll ever do for themselves. And that's a powerful tool to use. And I'll bring whatever tool I have in to hold you accountable to be as phenomenal as you want to be. Because everything's going to try to keep you from it. And the second, I don't care who you are, how uncompetitive you say you are. Everyone has competition in them. Right? And the morning boot camp is always in competition with the evening boot camp. So, trust me, those are the two most motivating things and the best things to have you do what you don't want to do. It's against your nature to do, but you need to do to get what you want. So phenomenal things like dropping 55 pounds, yeah, that's awesome, but something changes in here, and you become that strong person in everybody else's lives that you get to uplift people. You don't get to be that person that kind of just says, oh, come on down, join me here, you're making me uncomfortable. I have a saying in boot camp that we will live our lives in strength and we will never lower our expectations to make someone else comfortable again. Even though those people will try to stop you, but we won't let them stop you. That's all. I think she said everything. The biggest thing right now is, little thing I like to tell people. There are two frogs on a log, one decides to jump off. How many frogs left on the log? There are 2 left on the log because they didn't do a dang thing. People make decisions all the time, but they don't do anything. If you are truly ready to make this phenomenal change, in the presence of fear, in the presence of worry, in the presence of everything trying to stop you right now, then you make that decision to take one step. That's all it takes, one step. One step is you make the decision to put faith in us to help you the way we've helped hundreds upon hundreds of people. And there we go. If there are any challenges with you moving forward with this, then let us help you overcome those challenges. Come to us with this attitude. These are my circumstances that are going to look to keep me from doing this. These are my circumstances. However, I still want to achieve my dreams and goals. You come to me with that attitude, are you ready for this? Always find a way to make it happen. That's it. Everyone, thanks for coming. If you have any questions, ask myself, ask Patricia, ask Tracy.
Tracy is one of my boot camp students right now. She's lost over 18 pounds and is 7 weeks.